He knew like he had something to say to him, but I don't feel like talking on the phone. I don't feel like hitting you up via email. So at some point you're going to be at a game. I'll wait for my moment.
Perfect.
I know you've seen this one. You are a fan of the guy LeBron, one of the greatest in the league. And I know you've seen that video where he ran up on Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, for sure. He was mad.
That one had everybody talking. Stephen A. Smith felt like he had to come back out and just, even comment on it. But first, let's just see let's listen to what people are speculating is what really took LeBron over the edge. I think it was more than just this, but people are saying these are the comments that like Stephen A. had made right before LeBron had spoken to him.
I'm really, really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. One of the top 2 or 3 players in the history of basketball, number 2 in my eyes. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong. As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do, I am rooting for Bronny James. But right now, Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. How are you doing him favors? We know that he's not ready yet.
So yeah, those are pretty much the comments that people believe Stephen A. Smith made right before LeBron had to press him. And then obviously we know what happened next. It was a Lakers game, and LeBron took the opportunity to, walk over to Stephen A. Smith. This is what Stephen A. had to say about it.
Courtside, and the next thing you know, out of the blue, LeBron came in my face. He approached me during the game, and he said, "Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son." I said, "What? Nah, man, straight up, man to man, real talk. Stop effing with my son." And I saw how furious he was. And I said, "We can talk about it later." "Nah, F that. Stop effing with my son. That's my son. I said, "All right, dog, fine." And he walked away.
Like how he eyeballs the dude filming him. Man, what were your thoughts just on that whole altercation? Because I guess I'll just say how I feel about it at first. Weird, because we know what Stephen A. Smith does for a living, and if Bronny James is an athlete, it would seem like it's within his wheelhouse to speak about how athletes performing. Also, I don't think he said anything truly disrespectful about Bronny James. Now, the pleading with LeBron as a father and all that's, I think, might be a gray area where now it's kind of disrespectful. It's not just athlete to broadcaster. It's something beyond that. But LeBron, you wasn't about to fight him. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's just crazy. You guys are billionaires. You know what I'm saying? LeBron a billionaire. You guys aren't about to like knuckle up. And I think it like takes away from like let Bronny talk on the court. You know what I'm saying? But how do you feel about it? As you are a fan of LeBron, that's not a secret to anybody that watches the podcast here, but just, how did you feel about the whole thing going down?
Well, when I first seen the headline, cause you see the headline before you see the clip, I said to Mo, I'll probably know what this is about. And then as I read the article, it confirmed, it was having something to do with his son. And then, I watched the video, and then in subsequent days, Stephen A. did talk about it and what was said, so on and so forth. And, I agree, like, I don't think Stephen A. necessarily said anything disrespectful or anything like that. It's his job to comment on things that he sees. Bronny is in the league. Therefore, he is eligible to be talked about.
Fair game, right?
Fair game. Yeah. And so, but two things can be true at the same time. As a father, right? As a father, not a basketball player, but just as a father, I will always be protective over my child. Right. And so I don't think LeBron was wrong in any way, shape, or form. As a man, right? I'd much rather, I'm sure he could have reached out, talked over like Stephen A. said, he could have hit me on the jack, whatever the case may be. as a man, I'd much rather be able to look, even if I know I have no intention on scrapping with you, I'd much rather look at you in your eyes. I want you to see my face, hear my words directly from my mouth. Stop effing with me or my son, whatever the case may be, and leave it at that. You know, I didn't have no intentions of scrapping, but man to man, I want you to look in my eyes. We're going to have a face-to-face conversation, not over the phone, not via email, face-to-face. And we'll leave it at that, you know? And so, like I said, two things could be true at the same time. I don't think Stephen A was wrong for what he said. And I don't think Bron was wrong for the way he reacted. Now, I will go on to say, I think there's a little more to it than just that
Bronny
one
James, right?
comment. I do think on a deeper level, LeBron, to a certain degree, on the conscious or subconscious level, respects Stephen A and his platform.
Okay.
And given who Stephen A is and his platform, I think that's what bothered him more than anything else. Because if I said that, right, if I came on the podcast, oh, LeBron, please, LeBron ain't paying me no mind. He probably don't get, but it's because of who said it. I think as, and you know, at the end of the day, Stephen A has long been, I'm not going to say a critic, because he's always, for the most part, given LeBron his flowers after MJ. But I do think there's always been just a little bit of, maybe contention there.
Hostility, right? Yeah.
And so now you have words, like it seems personal words about my son, because you're pleading to me, LeBron, please,
As
right?
if you're the GM
versus
somebody,
just us having a general conversation. Now I feel like you're speaking to me, so now I have to speak back to you.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt like there was a little bit more behind it. Also, I feel like you could have went about it a different type of way. Like, you knew that was in front of a bunch of people. You wanted people to see it. It wasn't a heat of the moment type thing. You thought about that, and that was something you wanted to do for a while, and this was your opportunity to do it.
Yeah, like I said, he knew, like, he had something to say to him, but I don't feel like talking on the phone. I don't feel like hitting you up via email. So at some point, you're going to be at a game. I'll wait for my moment.
Yeah, so like, what do you think the general perception of Bronny James has been? Because from my standpoint, I feel people have been respectful, maybe even out of reverence to LeBron.
I'll say, you know, people with credibility. Obviously, you know, there's always going to be people, hecklers or something like that,
or they want
that have
people
some,
just to have a headline, or
right?
something like
So
that.
outside of that, yes, I think, you know,
they could be a little bit, if they wanted, if it was not LeBron's son in the same position, they probably would view this a little way and report it a different type of way. But because, and this is the perception I get, because it's LeBron's son, we know this is a goal of not only LeBron's, but obviously nepotism may have played a factor in it, but it's kind of like, we don't care. Like,
I'll say people who don't really know the game, they may have a little more to say that may not necessarily be on the favorable side, because all they may be looking at, oh, he's averaging 0 point some points, 0 point, right? And not even paying attention to what he may be doing in the G League.
Yeah.
So I do think overall, you know, people do understand, you know, while Bronny can ball, he has talent, you know, he's like with the right training and experience, you know, with time, he may,
Redick as a coach,
right?
You know
He may be able to make it. Right now, you know, the G League is where he belongs.
Well, I guess where I was trying to go with it is, like, since I feel the general perception has been mostly respectful, if not reverent, of who LeBron James is, I feel like Stephen A is kind of like a voice out the crowd, that's speaking more from a realist standpoint. Like, yo, y'all see the same thing I'm seeing. I ain't really got none. I just got 100 million from ESPN. I'm gonna say how I feel and just say it. And I feel like because of that, maybe it seems like more like hate as opposed to just someone being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And from LeBron's standpoint, he's like, well, everybody else ain't reporting it like this, so why, you know what I mean? Why do you feel the need to do that? Whereas I'm, as an outsider just looking in, I'm like, well, Stephen A is just keeping it real. Is what he
And
gets
again,
paid
it's
to
his
do.
platform too.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Stephen A is Stephen A. And so, like I said, if I said it, no big deal.
Yeah.
So who's saying it matters at the end of the day?
I don't like that just because there's a hood element of, like, you pressed him. He even calls Markieff Morris over, like, before he walks over there. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to go over there. Like, what was about to happen? Like, security's everywhere. It wasn't about to get crazy. It has that look of, like, an altercation between two black men. That's the part about it where I'm like, y'all could have did this No one could have seen it.
Yeah,
It didn't have to come across like that. But other than that, LeBron didn't put hands on him. Stephen A could have actually, knowing so many people were watching and that could have acted real ignorant in that moment. And he didn't. He held his composure and handled it on his platform in a way. So I'm glad it didn't escalate, but it could have.
Yeah, in the perfect world, it could have been handled better for sure. I won't say that.
And I want to see Bronny James stand up for himself. If you already have the optics of looking like a little boy.
I mean, but what was Bronny going to do?
Play.
That's all he can do. Yeah, just play, right?
Are you going to like attack every news reporter that never played ball and never had?
As a parent, that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah. What's not the right thing? What LeBron did?
No, to just like always fight your kids' battles, right? That we obviously know that that's not the best thing to do, but it doesn't stop you from having those feelings. That's your child. You just feel overprotective of your child.
It feels like when the parents get in a little arguments at the little league game. That's what it feels like, right? Like you seen the opportunity, walked over to the coach and said something or something to the ref, and it's like your kids on the court, like what's going on right now? But I do feel where LeBron's coming from as a man, but let Bronny be a man. And like I said, I think as all your athletes, all you could do is honestly, I think it goes beyond athletes because I'd say it even goes for rappers. Like if DJ Academics is saying a bunch of, what are you gonna like try to play the internet game with them? You're gonna diss them in your bars. You're gonna perform the way you want to perform. So if someone's critical of you, the only thing you can do is perform in your wheelhouse. Keep the main thing. And win that way.
Right.
As another number one album. What they gonna say to you? You know what I'm saying? Bronny James gets most improved player. That's when you got your gloat moment, or you make it a little funny like internet post. But to do it like this, I feel like it's like, well, what are we doing here? We're asking a man not to be honest about what he's saying, and he just got paid a nice little chunk of change because he says it as he sees it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stephen A too. He just got a nice little contract from ESPN. So I like seeing that, man. Like I'm not a big fan. I used to watch a lot more of sports television like maybe 10, 15 years ago. I watch more television in general. I don't do that as much anymore. I don't really need to see people talk. I'd rather watch a game.
Right.
I don't really care for seeing people talk about it, but that don't take nothing away from the greatness of what Stephen A has done. And I like the fact that he was like, oh, all right, sports is popping. Well, let me pivot and start my own podcast outside of ESPN, where now I can talk about politics. And it's in the atmosphere now, like, yo, Stephen A can make a run for president. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I mean? People are like chirping about that. Like real media publications are talking about that. I think because he has that platform now, and now he can hop on Fox News and hop on the CNNs whenever he wants to make an appearance. He also could talk about Kendrick and Drake because now he has that freedom. It's not He's not limited to sports. So that's a nice smart pivot right there, I think, in terms of show your various skills. You know what I mean? And not be boxed in. What's good, y'all? It's your man, DJ Playboy. And I'm here with my guy, Spec. And we representing for the Perfect Talk Podcast.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe, people.
And of course, hop in the comments. Let us know what you thinking. And go check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. All the episodes right there.
Yes, sir. Peace.